There's a lot of things in this life we don't get to choose about ourselves. How tall you are, what color your natural hair is, what country you're born in, and especially your skin color. You don't get to choose that, right? Obviously, everywhere I go, I'm black. Yeah, everywhere I go, I'm black. And I feel like it's really down to me whether I see that as an obstacle or not, because it does feel like it's presented that way at times, and not in the way that you think. I sometimes feel like the stories we're constantly told on repeat about who we are as a race and what's happened to us. Sometimes I feel like those stories are so heavily pushed on us because it's a lot easier to keep someone who believes they're a victim as a victim rather than somebody who feels empowered and someone who feels like they have a history of being from strong lineages and a heritage that is about being strong and uplifted and empowered. Sometimes I find the victim stories that are pushed on us as Black people aren't very beneficial to our mindsets and beliefs. I don't know why. I don't know why it feels like weird to say this or a bit contrary to the narrative we're supposed to follow as Black people, but I don't even feel like as Black people we're one thing. We're so many different countries, but we all believe that we're all victims in the same way. But in reference to who? If we're going to let people who don't have our best interests at heart kind of dictate our narrative, then we're going to be victims forever. And that's why I'm making this video today, to really talk about it. Being part of predominantly white institutions growing up, so the schools I went to, mainly white kids, I noticed a lot of the racially charged hate I'd get wouldn't just come from a place of superiority because these kids knew they were better than me for not being Black. I actually noticed that they were very much jealous of me for being a bit more athletic or having parents who were super serious about school and strict and valued education a bit more than they did. And I was a bit more in tune with rhythm and pop culture than them. They just thought it was a means to bully me about. And the more and more I thought about it, the more I realized that they were just insecure in themselves, right? And this is the case for bullies in every case. I swear, in every case. A bully is never genuinely bullying you and making your life hell because they're so superior than you. They would just feel bad if they were that much more superior, but they don't. They purposely strive to belittle you. But how can you belittle someone who's already tiny compared to you? You can't. You wouldn't. So I quickly realized that a lot of these bullies are just coming from a place of inferiority. It's an inferiority complex, and that's why they project. So even on a racial front, when these kids were bullying me, I know not everyone might relate to this because I have followers in many different places, and not all of you have to deal with being in predominantly white institutions or predominantly white workplace or anything like that. But for those of you who have, you might have noticed this too. I feel like when you feel animosity coming for things you can't control, just stop and think, maybe what I have that I never picked sort of strikes a bit of insecurity into the person who's making me feel bad about it, who didn't pick what they have that's different to me. Maybe they feel scared of feeling inferior for who they are, that they're trying to make me feel bad for who I am. That's a pretty plausible reason. So just consider that. People's rejections are more often about them than you. This is the case in most scenarios. So yeah, I hold on to that a lot in my life. And following on from that, I then reject victimhood because nobody's going to make me a victim and believe I'm a victim and walk through life believing that everything's harder on me because I'm me. The more and more I see of this world, I realize nobody has it easy. Nobody has it all figured out. Everybody is doing the most they can to try and feel some control over this life. So I think it's your goal to do that too and play the game. Don't sit around thinking that you're just, the most unlucky thing in the world and woe is me. And we've been victims since before I can even think of, before my grandparents. So I'm destined to be a victim. I feel like, no, you need to take your power back. You really need to feel empowered and realize that it's a level playing field. And some people have played dirty in the past, yes, but it's up to you to decide what to do with that. And it's not to say, oh, I'm the victim, but I'm morally better and they're not doing anything about it. You can, but I think I refuse. I refuse at this point. Excuses genuinely don't carry weight in the real world because you see it, don't you? When you bring up, oh, is it because I'm Black or something? People instantly say, oh, you're pulling the race card. Oh, you're pulling the race card. Like race hasn't been a major issue and a major reason for a lot of things. But at the end of the day, those same people who would be so racist to you, if you call them racist, they'll deny it. If you say, is it because I'm Black? They'll get annoyed that you said that. So what's the point of arguing with them when it's something they can never admit? It's just no point. It's pointless to even work around your life in reference to people who aren't even consistent. They want to do something based off your race, but then if you say, is it based off my race, they deny it and they gaslight you. So are you really to be argued with? You don't argue with fools. You know this, but you should know this. As I said, it's not even consistent. Like racism is not consistent. Too inconsistent racism. Like for example, people will say, oh, Black people are inferior in every way, protect our white genes. And if I go to the gym and I have a super nice physique or something, I'll post this picture and I'll say, I got this because I finally went to the gym every day and started eating clean. People will say, oh no, it's your genetics. So are you saying my genetics are superior? I don't get it. Because is it that our genes aren't good and this and that? Or is it that we have superior genes when it comes to aesthetics and we look better as human beings now? Which one is it? Like, what are you trying to say? For example, with black women, they'll say, oh, the bums are too big. They look too, they just look like ridiculous having those curves and blah, 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 big lips, everything. They'll make jokes out of it. And all of a sudden, people get BBLs and lip fillers. So it's like, are those traits really ridiculous or are they desirable? With culture nowadays, you see anything that's popularized in the black community and the way we make really good jokes and stuff in pop culture, it quickly becomes mainstream and adopted by everyone from every race, and especially the biggest corporations whose main employees and main chosen talents would be white people. So it's very inconsistent. At the same time, people say, okay, yeah, black people are barbaric, savage, uncivilized people, but then they'll trust black people to take care of their kids as childminders, nannies, trust nurses to take care of the elderly. It just doesn't make sense. I've been to the NHS, I've had surgeries, and all the nurses are Nigerian in my ward. I'm like, wait, so it's all Nigerians taking care of the people here? Really? I felt like I was in Lagos. So it's crazy that this is the same group of people that others will try and define as uncivilized. You can't call us barbaric and let us into your homes. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I see so many elderly people being like chaperoned and cared for by middle-aged Nigerian minders or African minders. And I'm just like, it's crazy that they try and convince us that we're degenerate people or we're less than, but they don't mind us taking care of them. You shouldn't respect the opinions of people who are going to be so inconsistent on their ideologies. They're not even truly racist, because they can't keep it consistent. They can't. So it's like someone's racist, but they don't mind employing you on $1 million contract to play for their NBA team that they own. So it's like, just get what you can and move on. And like my favorite artist, Jizzy, sue the company if you can. Use the system against them. I'm just saying, these contradictions show me that racists aren't even fully believing in their own ideologies. So why should I respect it if they don't even fully adopt it all the time? If you can't be consistently hateful, why am I going to internalize your hate? I can't. It's not even consistent. You don't hate me all the time. You hate me when you want to feel superior. Just like my school bullies. It's literally just that on an older scale, on a corporate scale, on a presidential scale. It is what it is. But it's not going into my internal beliefs. Sorry, I hit the mic. It's not going into my internal beliefs, guys. I'll honestly never see being black as being less or a liability, because it's just an adopted part of my identity. I was born, realized I was black in a world of many different races. I was Nigerian in a world of many different nationalities, but that's just part of my culture. It's not anything for me to feel bad about or to feel less than for, or to feel like someone has one up on me and I wish I was something else. Because I know some of us when we were younger did have that feeling like, oh, do I wish I was another race? But no, bro. No race has it scot-free. They're all struggling and they deal with it in different ways. Some project, some bully, and we just vibe, I think. But also, I just don't think we should present ourselves as victims. That's all I'm saying. I don't think we should keep holding on to the stories of the past to make these people feel like they did such a number on us. We need to write new history. We can't skip, can't have a time skip of like, this bad event happened and then we just kind of like talked about it forever. We need to make a new history, I feel. So they can say when it was now, in 100 years, in this time, they did this. That's what I feel like we should do. That's why I'm trying to stand out and be someone a bit different from my generation. I don't know how though, but I'm just trying. So I'm talking to you guys, yapping. In the media, we're not necessarily portrayed as the strongest people, or not enough anyway. Sometimes there's a black protagonist in a film and it's pretty cool to see. But I mean, there was a point in time where I saw so many slave movies, so many gang movies of us being just like criminals or victims or just subjugated. And I was like, I'm sick of this. I just think we should be presented in different ways. And then when like Black Panther came along, I was so moved. I remember watching it with my friends, walking out to that Scissor song at the end of it, just so moved, because seeing a black superhero, it healed something inside me. And that's actually one of my ambitions, by the way. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but one of my goals one day is to act as Black Panther. Like, I want to be, I don't know how they ever will write the story, but I would love to be a Black Panther one day. They had my flipping doppelganger, Damson, in like the tabloids as suspected to be the next Black Panther, and I was like, damn it, he beat me to it.
The sample was yelling, loop me. Miss Hill, please don't sue me, because I ain't one of these rappers out here front.
But I would love to. That's one of my ambitions, because I just love the idea of a black superhero in an intelligent black country in the middle of Africa. I love the storyline, the plot. I love the way they did the first movie. And yeah, I just think we should be presented in ways of like power, intelligence, and the ways we truly are when you actually meet us as people. Like, the black people I know are so smart because we push education so hard. I went back to Nigeria, and when I went back to Nigeria for the first time in 2024, since 2006, the people I saw, seeing my people and like seeing how hard they work at what they do, I was like, wow, there's nothing less about us at all. We just have had a bit less of our way in history, and that annoys me. So I think we should try and turn it around and have our way a bit more. And we need more leaders like Ibrahim Traore and stuff. I know the worldview doesn't agree with him. The French say he's a threat, but I think he's doing great things. So I really want more people like him to be around and empowering African people. I believe we're way more than stories of suffering, way more. Because all them stories of suffering, we might get brainwashed and believe it's our destiny and it's normal for us to suffer. It's not. It's not, and it should never happen in the first place. So we should not become adapted to it, or is it the word adept? I don't know. We should not become like accustomed to that's who we are. We suffer. I don't like that. So the world may try and hand us labels, excuses, and even contradictions about ourselves, but I don't subscribe to any of them. And I know who I truly am. I know what makes me me, what I've learned about myself through seeing the world. But it's not about how other people see me that's going to define how I live. It's genuinely just about how I see myself and what I know I can achieve in this world, whether you like me or not. And even if the reason you like me is because I'm black, there's also 1,000 reasons you could dislike me too. You could also dislike me because of my accent, or you could also dislike me because of how much taller than you I am, or my success, or my smile. So there's a billion reasons, and I'm not going to feel like a victim because you choose one of them. I know my truth, so yeah, I'm not going to let how you feel stop me, because everywhere I go, I'm black, and that's not going to change. So I got to change. I got to change how I see that and not see it as a weakness, because it's not. Thank you guys for watching. Peace. Damn, sorry, it's so bright, guys. I couldn't even see you. Oh my God, I'm blinded.
I hear all the gossip, but I never hear the truth. How can they affect me when I know what liars do? It's cringy till it works. My life is living proof. So if you let them talk and get to you, then you a fool. But I swear I've seen it all.